So what we're going to have a quick look at today, literally 5 minutes on how you can develop that range of motion into your calf. I'm getting a lot of feedback from clients, from a number of sports people that I work with, especially with this hard ground outside as the weather's getting good, is a lot of people are finding that their calves are becoming stiff and they're getting discomfort from those calves. That might be when they're sleeping, that might be at work, that might be just through the day. So what we're going to have a quick look at is using a wide range of tools and what kind of exercises we can do, not only to release those calves and get into that posterior chain working all the way through the leg, but also how we can begin to strengthen. I've got, as I've said, a number of guys and girls that I'm working with from a sports perspective, and Elliot's one of those, and he's come to join us today, so he's just going to demonstrate the movements. He's going to act as my body. Elliot's actually just started pre-season training, and as I say, that ground outside is really, really hard. So those calves taking a lot of impact, and what's really important is not only that we mobilize and keep those joints moving and really look to maximize that range of motion at the ankle, but it's also really important that post-exercise that we're doing our stretches that allow the body and the musculature recover, which might be post-workout, it might be post your sport performance, but it might also just be your day-to-day living. Okay, so it's really important that we not only mobilize, but we also stretch into those tissues as well. Okay, so we're going to kick off with a stretch to really look at lengthening that muscle. So I'm going to ask Elliot to go face onto the door. He's going to take his left hand, just for a bit of stability, onto the door handle. He's not ripping that off. We're not putting a huge amount of resistance through that. He's now going to push his right leg up towards the door. And what he's going to do, he's going to bend his left leg, dropping his hips as low as he can to get that heel as close to the door and his toes as far up the door as he can. He's then going to extend his left leg and stand up straight. So chin and chest up nice and tall, and straight away he's feeling a good stretch. Feeling that, Elliot? Yeah. Absolutely. So what we're stretching into here is we're getting into the upper part of the calf muscle, what is known as your gastroc. Okay, he's then going to hold this for 20 seconds before rotating over to the left-hand side. So you're going to bring his right hip right across, and he's now going to feel that stretch just shift down the inside. He's not letting off the stretch, he's maintaining that. We want to be holding that stretch for a total of 60 seconds. So he's done his first phase of 20, he's rotating over, he's now doing the inside of that calf, that three-dimensional touch, for another 20 seconds. Okay, understanding that our muscles work in multi-planes. You know, we're not just forward-back human beings. We've got a lot of sideways motion as well as that rotation. He then comes back to center. Okay, and this time what he's going to be doing, keeping that stretch on, is now pushing that front knee as close to the door as he can. And what we're shifting down here now is down the back leg. If I show you on his not stretched leg, is we're now stretching. We've moved from the gastroc, the top half of the calf, down into the soleus and potentially into the Achilles and getting into the fascia. So another great stretch for anyone who's getting any pain or any tight tissue all the way through that ankle complex. So what we're going into now is just a couple of mobilizers to start working into and what could potentially be a warm-up for your calves. So what we've got here is one I'll do a lot with my sports people, especially as I've already referenced that hard ground, and that's just calf pumps. So what Elliot's doing is just driving his heels towards the ground just to get that elongation through the muscle. So he's getting that elongation, then a bit of a contraction, then that elongation again. So we're just warming up those muscles over the next couple of exercises. Alrighty, so next up is we've just got Elliot working through that calf, and he's now pushing that ground away. So we're getting a really good contraction through that calf muscle. He's using his back leg just for a little bit of balance. So this would be your option one, step one. He's putting his weight through the toe to then drive that calf up, or drive that heel up and get a really good contraction through that calf. Step two, he's going to now elevate the other leg off the ground, and he's now got that degree of balance. So we're really having to get the joint structure. You've not only got that proprioception, but you've also got a really great contraction that's having to work with gravity and is not, again, as one-dimensional as forward back, but it's having to stabilize that structure and makes it a great full structure mobilization. Okay, and the final mobilizer to get those calves prepped is just really dead simple. And this one, I want you to be free. The body is designed to move, okay? So standing on the one leg, you're just going to rotate side to side, keeping your balance, and you'd be amazed just by that little bit of movement, how you feel that in your calf. Okay, so just be free with it, move in different planes, crouch down low, reach up high, get rotating round. It's all good, and it's already warming up into that calf. Okay, so now moving on to our strengthening exercises. What we've got here is Elliot is going out to 3 ranges. Okay, so he's going out to 3 different points. 3 reps just out in front. He's standing on the one leg, other foot elevated, and he's using that other foot to really reach out with the toes. So he's going to do 3 reps forward, 3 reps out to the side, and then 3 on the back. And that's all the time just balancing on that one leg. Okay, what he's also working through there is he's trying to get as low as he can. So he's now getting that ankle structure, talking with the knee and the hip. So he's lowering through his hip, his knee and his ankle into what is known as triple flexion and then triple extension as he comes up. That's going to make the calf stronger as a whole, purely because it's working with its brothers and sisters all the way up the leg. Super work. So I thought for a minute there, because Elliot's calf's getting nice and tired now, he was going to swap legs, but he's actually just swapped back. So what we've now got Elliot doing, and this can be done with any type of tool, we're adding a bit of resistance, a bit of weight to it, okay? So you can use what we've got here, a Viper, you can use just a weighted bar, you can use a broomstick, whatever you have got at your disposal, just to aid that reach. So what we're now doing is we're standing on the one foot, again aiding that balance. If you need to drop toe down on that side, that's completely fine. And what Elliot's doing is being really free with it, and he's just loading into that one leg, dropping those hip, again through the hip, the knee and the ankle, and then reaching out to several different points all around his body. So he's getting that calf to not only work up, down, but it's really aiding that rotation as well in terms of going off to different angles. So again, that transferability onto the sports field or when we're out there in everyday life, your calf isn't going to be guessing because it's going to be prepared for it and it's going to be ready for that change in direction. Okay, finally, Elliot has swapped legs now and we are at the, if you like, the real pinnacle in terms of driving that strength into his calf. So what we've brought in is we've got a Bosu or something like a wobble board, and what that's just adding in is just, again, challenging that proprioception as Elliot, for example, is doing his lunges here. And as he pushes away, he drives through his heel to, again, just come up into that triple extension, and not only, again, working that calf, but he's getting into that glute as well to really fire into those hips, okay? Once Elliot's fine with that and those forward backs, is he's going to take a step back off that. He's then going to go into a side lunge. So if you just come facing here, Elliot, and then just step to your left into a nice long lunge, and again, we've got that air in the Bosu, and then step back. Excellent. He's having to plant the leg in, and the ankle and the leg and the hip, all of this glorious stuff is really having to work and just sort out its proprioception and learn through the brain where it is stable, okay? And this is all the time where we might be making compensations in the past is we're now challenging that structure just to really develop itself. So again, when we're caught in these scenarios on the playing field in everyday life, it can deal with them. So that's a great, great movement. We're finally just going to finish off on one last one on that Bosu, and that's just planting and driving forward and then stepping back off. And again, I can see Elliot's ankles, his hips, his knees really working as a structure to second guess and to stabilize that movement. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And Elliot was just 60 seconds ago telling me how much he can feel this in the calves, so it's obviously working. So guys, there you have it. You have got a load of drills there that are going to help aid that mobility into the calves, help strengthen those calves, but also make sure we're doing those stretching. So whenever we're working with those calves, if we are struggling with our calves, we are struggling with our hamstrings, anything like plantar fascia, is just make sure we build into a good stretching program. So whenever we do our activity, make sure you have a stretch. I'm going to stretch Elliot at the end of this. Yeah. Get onto that door stretch, give those calves a great stretch. All this takes is a good 10 minutes, 10 minutes of your time each day. If you have got chronic pain, if you have got issues with your calves, spend time on your body. You use them every day. It deserves that respect. So guys, if you ever have any questions, please shout. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one.
Be strong. Be strong.